Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday afternoon, December 16th. We are looking at Window Traders market profile of SPY, IWM, and Triple Qs. I really can't wait to see the reasons that all the talking heads give on TV why the NQ is down 2.5% and why the market got crushed today. They're going to be saying, they finally realized we have inflation. We know why what happened today happened for the most part, because we said yesterday that run-up was absolutely nonsense, okay? Now, the encouraging thing for buyers, at least in SPY and ES, is all we did, my friends, is trade in L&M's range all day. We had higher value all day. We did go out with a double distribution day, but only one small set of single prints in F. And we only have 4 upside destinations, including the single prints, daily high, monthly high, and a pre-market all-time high. That's the good news. The bad news is we're starting to get vacuums on the downside again. Remember, I said we couldn't raise this 9-wide POC yesterday. We could have gone up $1,000. Well, that's a target still. So at some point, if we take out today's low, that's going to go in our downside destinations. And when I give them to you, are going to be far and wide apart. So the vacuum continues. We have an $8.07 range, and all we have is the high, the low, and the single print. So we'll treat this as a double distribution day, 2 separate days. Triple Qs almost had I thought they were going to have an outside day down. They took out yesterday's high and traded close to yesterday's low. They end with 2 sets of single prints, E and D, and an afternoon rally high in I. Russell ends up with an afternoon rally high in I and 3 sets of single prints, J, F, and E. So they're basically a triple distribution day. So you'll be treating this as 3 separate days tomorrow. 2 separate days here in Qs, and the same with us in SPY and ES. Now, before I go any further, SPY's dividend gets priced tonight. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but they have us closing right now at $466.68. So if we put it at $1.50 or whatever, we're going to be priced not far off today's low. And to me, that's important because right now I'm calling the daily up. I know a lot of people call it balance, but I'm going to give the buyers credit. Until we take out today's low, I'll call it up. If we take out today's low, then we'll be in a 4-day balance. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, whatever happens tomorrow. But for now, I'm calling it up. Volume, 105 million, excellent volume. I had a decent day today. Made a bunch of small trades. Only one from the short side. Why? Because the shorts were priced ridiculously high because of the dividend, and the spread in them was absolutely obscene. These people call themselves market makers at Citadel. They're a disgrace. There's no such thing as market makers. In fact, the only short I took, I did it a couple of times. I made better markets inside of the spread that they had. It's a disgrace. I took basically small longs against visual areas throughout the day. I took a long in A period the first time against the gap to get a responsive bounce, 470 calls. I took a long the first time against the price spike, price probe in B, 469, same thing. Same thing in D. Both times I got paid. There was some responsive buying. We weren't trend down at that point. In E period, I did the same thing. I was like, we're not getting that flush yet. Then we finally got some downward movement, but again, it was nothing huge. I took another long in G period when we got no tempo into the single prints, and it went right back. Again, I wasn't staying in these long, but they were getting responsive pops off these very visual areas. Then in H, I shorted a couple of times against basically G's high in the single prints. Shorted a little bit, come in, take them off, went back up, did it. And because the spreads were so disgustingly wide, these trades, I was putting them in between the spread and then making a dime to 12 cents on them without the market even really moving. And then an I period, this was my best trade of the day, and thank goodness I innovated and took it off quick. It looked like they wanted to finally stop the one-time framing and get above the 144 simple moving average. I innovated before we took out H's high, bought 50 calls, so by the time it popped, I was in the money pretty good already, took a bunch of them off because it came in really quick. and then I took the last 15 off, still made money on them, and then that was all she wrote for the buys. That was it. And that was my last trade of the day. I would have taken along if we had gotten closer to the 20-day moving average. We got to within about, I don't know, 60 cents or so. I would have taken along the first time off of that. Triple Q's closed right. They went back and forth through their 20 and 50. They closed either right below or above the 50. As far as destinations, 469.23 to 35, single prints, very small set, 12 cents to the upside. Then 472.87, today's high. 473.54, monthly high, all-time high from November 22nd. 474.86, that's this morning's pre-market all-time high. Downside, 464.08. Now, 464.80. And then 462.11, 9 wide. We're getting price vacuums. 460.74. 460.25. That'd be the bottom of a 4-day balance. Then we don't have anything to 453.56, weekly low. So, I'm just going to show you the daily. And once again, I really appreciate the likes and subscribing to the channel. I mean, I know a lot of you forget. It takes 2 seconds to do it if you could do it every time. I mean, I'm assuming you watch these videos because they provide value to you. So just hit the like button, and I'd really appreciate it. And then on the chart, I'm just going to show you the daily. So we were discussing this in the room, and this is why the market is an art, not a science. A lot of people are going to say, well, we got accepted back into Tuesday's range at one point, and they're calling it a 3-day balance. I don't have a problem with that. Or they're calling it an 8-day balance from this low to today's high. I'm still calling it up. Even though we came back into this balance here, I'm giving the bulls their due from yesterday, and today they made a new high on, above yesterday's high. If they take out yesterday's low, including because of the dividend, then we'll be in a 4-day balance. But for now, I'm calling them up. Not an easy day to trade. Look, we are trading strictly against mindless machines and emotional retail traders. No trade is a trade also until the market gets its bearings a little more, I'm looking for the right word, until it gets its sanity back. $8 range is up, $8 range is down. It's being run by the inmates who run in the asylum. Hope you had a good day trading. Rest up, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.